what is going on? It's your girl Keisha. Welcome to the show, Undeniable Keziah. Alright, so I have a very sad and unfortunate story to share with you guys. It's about a young black man by the name of Barry Washington Jr., just 22 years old, and a young white man by the name of Ian McKenzie Cranston, 27 years old. Ian Cranston shot Barry Washington to death. He is now deceased. His mother had to bury him, okay? Let me break it down. Scenario. I believe they were either in a bar or a club, and Barry Washington approached a white woman by the name of Allie Butler. But guess who Allie was? Allie was the girlfriend of Ian Cranston. Ian Cranston was highly upset that Barry even had the nerve, the audacity to utter any type of words to his girlfriend. He was so enraged that he confronted him. Words were exchanged, punches was exchanged, and it led outside where Cranston reached to his waist, pulled out a gun, and shot Barry to death. So now Barry Washington's mother is very distraught because she has to deal with this case, also meanwhile burying her own son, which it should never be that way. You should never have to bury your own child. The district attorney, the Deschutes district attorney, John Hummel, said that he doesn't believe this is a hate crime because there wasn't sufficient evidence to support that. I believe this was a hate crime. Agree or not, I believe this was a hate crime. He says that once they gather more information, more evidence, then they could add that to Cranston. He's held in Deschutes County Jail, no bond, so he's held without bond. And I look forward to him being charged, found guilty, and doing time for murder. Because that wasn't necessary. There was no justification for shooting Barry because Barry had no weapons. Barry had no weapons at all, you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, he had nothing on him. Just his hands and his feet, his leg to defend himself. So you have Cranston's lawyer by the name of Kevin Sally. He's claiming that it was all self-defense. He's saying this is all self-defense. And Barry initiated the fight. Okay, he provoked the fight. And Ian was just defending himself. Really? Really? Now, let's talk about the racist history of America. We all know that black men have been murdered countless times behind a white woman. Countless times behind a white woman. The white men that would lynch and murder, even dismember black men, abuse their corpse and everything like that, they don't get held accountable for it. They walk scot-free. And this case screams Emmett Till to me all over again. This is like the 1950s all over again. You can't even talk to a white woman, give a compliment without getting your head blown off. This is crazy. Nothing has really changed. The racial hatred, that energy is still there. You know, the hatred is still there. It's still there. You know, just because you will see white men in white hoods doesn't mean that they don't exist. The mentality still exists. They may not wear the wardrobe, but the mentality still exists. That spirit is still there. That hateful spirit, that hateful racist spirit is still there. All he had to say was, listen, that's my girlfriend. She's not interested. Take your girlfriend and walk away. But no, the aggression, the anger, all of that had to ensued, and then look what happened. Look what happened. Now one is dead and then one is going to prison. My thing is this: if I was a black man, to be honest, in this atmosphere, in this era, I'll be nervous to speak to any woman, especially a white woman, because you know the history. You don't forget your past. You don't forget the past. You don't forget history because history repeats itself. It has a way of repeating itself. And as a black man, you have to be very, very, very careful. You know there's been black men murdered, killed, reputation ruined. Kobe Bryant, let him rest in peace. The white woman claimed that he raped her. He wasn't found guilty, but his reputation, even to the day Kobe Bryant died, that man wasn't even dead for not even 24 hours. And you had white women and other white men claiming and professing that he was a rapist and he was a murderer and he deserved to die. He deserved to die. He deserved that death that came upon him. You see what I'm talking about? The man was found. The man was acquitted. The man was found innocent. And yet, to that very day, that man wasn't even dead for 24 hours. And you had white women and white men, not all, but you had a good amount, confessing their hatred and the disdain they had for Kobe Bryant. Knowing his daughter also died along with him, and he has other daughters and a grieving wife, didn't care about how they felt. Oh, he was a rapist. The whole rape thing came up all over again. See how his reputation grew? Even when the man was dead, that reputation followed him to his death. Okay? So sometimes these things aren't enough for some black men. Some black men just want to step out and lust and desire after a woman, after a group, especially a group of people have an extensive history for hating you and disliking you. I'm not saying that all white women move the same or all white women show hatred towards black men and black women, but you have to understand there has been a ton of them that have gotten black men murdered. They have been a great amount. Look at the Karens. Look at all the Karens. Look at all the Karens popping up all over the place. The point it's so bad that you have a movie that's called Karen. And white women are mad about that. This is what you did. You brought this on yourself. You mad that a movie about Karens are coming out? You guys brought it on yourselves. Not all, but you guys know who you are. I have dated a Hispanic, but my love interest has always been towards a black man. Always. And it's still to this very day. My husband, the father of my children, he's going to be a black man, period. But at the same time, I noticed that some black men would see all this chaos, see all this hatred when they go after these white women and see that it's not totally accepted in society, but they still push it, they still go after it anyway, and then look what happens to them. People's true colors always comes out at the very end of the day. People can fake the front all they want to, but put them to the test, they're gonna fail. They're gonna show you their true colors. They will see all this hatred towards them being with white women and their reputations being ruined and being killed and being murdered. And you would think and say, well, it will make you think, like, well, wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't deal with them. Maybe I shouldn't talk to them. I'll be friendly with them. I'll be nice to them. But I'm going to stick with my sister over here because at least I have a better chance of staying alive. And there's nothing wrong with being with my own kind. There's nothing wrong with being with my own kind, preferring my own kind because that's who I came from. That's my blood. That's my family. But somehow a lot of black men, I believe, predate slavery, that always had a thing for non-black women. This has been going on for a very, very, very long time. It didn't matter if it cost them their life. Now, a black woman now, they'll chastise her all day. They demonize her all day. You see the videos, the YouTube videos. You see celebrities talking about black women, comparing black women to dogs and animals. And these are black men doing it. Not all, but a good amount do it. And it's just to the point where it's just like, come on. A white woman could do all these things. All these Karens popped up all over the place, and you guys don't call Karen out. Most black men don't call Karens out. But the moment a black woman do something wrong or something off in their eyes, a black woman can even roll her eyes. See, that sounds like black women. Y'all got attitudes, y'all this, y'all that. But a white woman can do anything. And you guys would not chastise her the way you chastise a black woman. You wouldn't do it. You barely do. You barely see them going after her the way that they go after black women. And that's not out of love, because when you chastise someone, you correct someone, you do it out of love. But when some of these black men try to chastise black women, you're not doing it out of love. You're not trying to correct her for love. You correct her because you want to have an excuse to hate her. You want to have an excuse to put her down. But when a white woman do something wrong, oh well, it's okay, and you know, maybe she didn't mean it like that, and you make excuses for her, you justify the evil that she has done. So something is not right here. And I personally will be scared to want to go after a woman that I know her community is not a big fan of me being with her. I'm sorry. Look at Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick was a great player. And all these white fans, all these white men and women were rooting for him and was loving Colin Kaepernick. But the moment Colin Kaepernick took a friggin' knee, what happened to Colin Kaepernick? He was blackballed, outcast, villainized for taking just a knee. The man that makes no threats or anything to anybody. These people turned on him. So we have to know what we're dealing with here. Now, we're not saying that all move the same way. We're not saying that all of them show hate towards black people. But we have to understand that the society that we're living in is not safe. It's still full of hate. It's not safe. It's still full of hate. And we need to focus on each other and dealing with each other and loving each other, and stop focusing on complimenting and being with and desiring to be with somebody else. You know, it's sad what happened to Barry Washington. But Barry Washington never would have said anything to that white girl, and he would have been alive to this day. But anyway, I do believe that this was a hate crime, and let's just see what comes out of this situation, okay? So leave a comment, you know, subscribe, like the video, and I'll come back for some more. Okay, bye.